All right, today we're diving into a destination that's, well, it's more than just a spot on a map. It's an entire experience. And yeah, it comes with its own rulebook. We're talking about Torre Guaceto, a slice of Italian paradise in Puglia that asks you to be a participant, not just a tourist. Let's break down what makes this place so incredibly special.
You know, when you picture an Italian beach, what comes to mind? Probably rows and rows of umbrellas, right? The crowds? Well, Torre Guaceto is the complete opposite. This place is wild, it's pristine, and it's kept that way on purpose, a vision of the coast where nature, not numbers, comes first.
And this quote right here, it just nails the whole philosophy of the place. It's not somewhere you just go to look at, it's a living system that you become a part of. The whole idea is for you to be totally immersed, to feel a real connection with the environment. You're not just looking at it, you're in it.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll talk about what makes this beach so unique. Then we'll get into how it was designed for protection. We'll explore its amazing ecosystems, see what you can actually do there, and wrap up with the must-know visitor's playbook. Let's dive in.
Okay, first things first. Let's get our bearings and really understand why this place is so much more than your average patch of sand and sea.
Okay, so where is this place exactly? Well, its location is pretty much perfect. It's tucked right there on the Adriatic coast, super close to Brindisi Airport and that famous white city, Ostuni. What's great about this is you can easily mix in some of that amazing regional culture with this totally wild natural escape.
Now, this is absolutely crucial. To really get Torre Guaceto, you've got to understand that none of this beauty happened by accident. Nope, it's all by design. It's the result of some really careful planning, all built around one thing: conservation.
And this table, honestly, this is your key to the whole experience. See, the water is divided into 3 zones. Zone A, that's the core. It's a total no-go zone to protect the really sensitive stuff. Then you have Zone B, where you can swim and snorkel. And finally, Zone C, which allows for a bit more recreational stuff, but it's still regulated. Seriously, getting this down is step 1 to being a good visitor here.
And that same thinking, that same level of protection, doesn't just stop at the water's edge. It extends right onto the land. And what you get is this incredible mix of different environments, these huge coastal dunes, wetlands that are critical for migrating birds, that classic, dense Mediterranean scrub, and even ancient olive groves. It's all one big, connected system.
All right, so let's zoom in a little. How do all these different pieces of the puzzle fit together to make this place such a hotspot for biodiversity?
Okay. Look at these dunes. They can get up to 10 meters high, but they are not just there to look pretty. They're actually a super important natural wall, protecting the fragile freshwater wetlands right behind them from the sea. It's a perfect example of how every single part of this landscape has a job to do.
And watching over this whole landscape, you've got this iconic tower. It's literally what gives the reserve its name. It was built way back in the 16th century to spot pirates, but what's really cool is the name itself. Guaceto comes from the Arabic word ghaset, which means place of fresh water. A little clue about the precious wetlands it's been guarding for centuries.
Now, if we dip below the surface, you find the real secret to why this water is so unbelievably clear. It's these huge underwater fields of Posidonia seagrass. People call them the lungs of the Mediterranean for a reason. They produce a ton of oxygen and act as a safe nursery for all kinds of baby fish and sea creatures. So when you protect a place this well, you get some pretty amazing residents. We're talking loggerhead sea turtles using the area to feed and nest, flamingos that pop in seasonally, and even this protected giant clam, the Pinna nobilis, that can live for more than 50 years. And that's not even counting the 600+ plant species. The biodiversity here is just, wow.
Okay, so we've established it's a protected paradise, right? But the big question is, how do you actually get to experience it? Let's talk about what you can do there, because every activity is designed to be super low impact and connect you right back to nature.
All right, let's start with the beaches, because you've got options depending on what you're looking for. If you're with family or it's your first time, Punta Penagrosa is your best bet. It's easy to get to and has a few services. If you want something a bit more wild, head for the beach near the tower itself. And hey, if you're feeling adventurous and want total seclusion, you can hike to find these little hidden coves. Just know you're on your own out there, no services at all. And beyond just lying on the beach, the activities here are all about getting involved with the environment. You can go snorkeling in Zone B to see that marine life up close. You can cycle on these nice flat paths through the olive groves or hike the trails along the dunes. And honestly, with the spotty cell service in some areas, it's pretty much the perfect excuse for a real digital detox. Trust me, you won't miss it.
Okay, you're ready to go, so how do you make sure you do it right? Let's get into the practical visitor's playbook.
All right, listen up, because this part is important. The rules here might look a little strict, but you have to remember, they are the only reason this place is still so incredibly pristine. So swimming in the right zones, hiking on the trails, go for it. But pets, camping, collecting shells, or sand, that's a hard no. By following these simple rules, you're not just a tourist, you're actively helping to protect this amazing place.
Even just getting to the beach is part of the eco-friendly plan. You can't just drive your car right up to the sand here. No way. Instead, you park in a designated lot way back from the coast. From there, you can hop on this little eco-shuttle train or just enjoy a really nice walk to get to the water. The result? The coastline itself is quiet, it's clean, and it's completely car-free.
So, to put this all into perspective, where does a place like Torre Guaceto sit compared to other famous destinations? This little comparison really helps. Think about the Amalfi Coast. Torre Guaceto is way more natural and way less crowded. Compared to Sardinia, it's usually easier to get to and a bit easier on the wallet. And sure, it's not the five-star luxury of the Maldives, but what you get instead is something way more valuable. Pure, unfiltered authenticity.
And really, it all boils down to this one simple, powerful idea. This place is a living example of how tourism can be managed for the good of the environment, not just for packing in as many people as possible. It's a deliberate choice, and the payoff is this absolutely breathtaking, pristine beauty.
And that leaves us with one last big question to think about. You know, in a world where so many stunning places are just being crushed by crowds, is this the future of travel? A model where a place asks for a little respect, and what it gives back is something real, something truly authentic. It's definitely food for thought, isn't it?